Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Sunday, the 25th of August 2024. In today's Millwall news, we've got this piece of news from this article from the South London Press, which is at thelondonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall striker Kevin Nisbet. Scotland recall, a desire, part of reason for Aberdeen loan switch. Kevin Nisbet says that a desire to get back in Scotland's national team was a factor in leaving Millwall and making a loan move to Aberdeen. The striker has signed for the Scottish Premiership outfit for the campaign, but the Lions do hold an option to recall him in the January transfer window. Nisbet told Aberdeen's Red TV, "My spell in England did not go as well as I planned. It started quite well, then I picked up some injuries, and then there was a change of manager, and then I got injured again, and it killed my season. Sometimes you just need a new chapter in your life, and now I'm at Aberdeen. It does make you stronger. I've had a lot of doubters over the last year, but that's just football. I just focus on proving people wrong. I do believe I can score goals here. It's just about getting off the mark as quickly as possible. Then when you do that, you try and go on a run." Nisbet, who made the move to the Lions from Hibernian last summer, has been capped 11 times by his country. That's one of the reasons I came to Aberdeen, to put myself back in the shop window and get another call up to the national team. I've been away for a while and I'm not going to the Euros representing my country was a bit of sickener due to the injury. Hopefully I can force my way back in. To play for your country is such a big thing. As soon as I knew Aberdeen were interested, it was no brainer to be honest. I did have options down south and with other teams in Scotland, but the way the team has started the season, I wanted to get involved. Aberdeen's a massive club. It's always a club I have looked to, and obviously when you come to Pittardry, it makes an impression on you, and I want to be part of that. So there you go. That obviously talking to Aberdeen's website about joining the club, and Millwall, obviously stand up club. We rushed through the paperwork so that he was able to play in their game today. So he did play. He came off the bench in the 78th minute. He got an average rating from WhoScored.com of 5.97. He touched the ball 3 times, and he's come on 78 minutes. So he's had 12 minutes on the pitch minimum because of obviously extra time and stuff. 1 unscheduled touch. Nothing, no defensive stuff. And 1 pass. So in 12 minutes on the pitch, he had 3 touches of the ball, 1 poor touch of the ball, and did 1 pass, which was accurate. So off to a roaring start up at Pittardry as Aberdeen beat the mighty of Kilmarnock 2-0. So there you go. Now moving on to this from millfc.co.uk. The coffee mornings. Do you go? Have you been? Have you seen it? Every Wednesday. They're saying that it's this Wednesday, but obviously there's a game on Tuesday. I guess that they still do it anyway. But I don't know how quickly they turn the space around, or they just clean up around you when you go in on a Wednesday. But yeah, Millwall's coffee morning to support Bromley Homeless. So on Wednesday the 28th of August, the Lions coffee morning will be hosted in support of Bromley Homeless. Not the homeless people of Bromley. It's the name of a charity called Bromley Homeless, who will be present to talk about supporters about the work that they do. Bromley Homeless is an award-winning charity that supports anyone over the age of 18 within the borough of Bromley who finds themselves facing homelessness. Offering services throughout their day centre, they provide those in need with hot food, drinks, access to sanitation facilities, internet access, and a chance to socialise and build a sense of community. Their advice workers work tirelessly to support clients to find accommodation, in addition to giving advice around benefits, pensions, employment, childcare and debt support. As well as a full-time prescribing nurse and care coordinator, Bromley Homeless Charity offer twice weekly access to counsellors and food and clothing banks. This winter they are also opening a night shelter offering a safe bed to rough sleepers during the harsh winter months. To find out more about Bromley Homeless, or if you wish to volunteer, you can visit the website by clicking the link below or by emailing simon.gill@bromleyhomeless.org to register your interest or ask any questions. If you are able to donate any coats, sleeping bags, gloves, scarves, or anything that would be of use to somebody sleeping rough, attendees are able to donate on the morning. If you cannot make the coffee morning, you can donate via the Lions Food Hub on Tuesday night when the Lions face Leyton Orient at the Den. So there you go. If you've got any old coats and stuff, clothes, I don't know, they just says clothes and scarves. I don't know if they want actual clothing. You would hope that they wouldn't just turn it away, but I don't know. So there you go. If you want to get rid of it, head down to the Den on Wednesday morning and hand it in, or just go to, if you're going to the game on Tuesday night, you can hand it in at the Lions Food Hub. So there you go. Now moving on to the statistical analysis of yesterday. It feels like it was longer than yesterday. I guess that's because it was Saturday morning and we had the whole day to do other stuff, but yeah, it was literally just yesterday. Hull nil, Millwall nil. This is from whoscored.com. And it says Millwall created a high number of chances relative to possession, but were poor at finishing and lost possession often. We had a high shot frequency when in possession, and we favoured long balls. And if you look on the right hand side, you can see a lot of these ratings are the top 5 in a few categories, and it's mostly orange over there. You can see George Honeyman had the most tackles of any player in the match. Joe Bryan was the highest rated Millwall player. But interestingly, Hull's goalkeeper and their 2 centre-backs got the highest ratings of the game. So that tells you that, you know, they had a lot of defending to do, and they did it quite well. So here we go. Let's have a look at this. The chances, the attempts on goal, 14 to 13. 10 to 6 open play, 4 to 7 set piece. So pretty even. Both teams trying to go down the wings. Shot directions. Shot zones. So Millwall not shooting outside the box. No thank you. Action zones. Player positions. Well, here we go. So this is, so we can see in the last couple of games we've seen the front 3 be a pretty tight line, and this time not really. It looks like we've got, that's kind of sad, we've got George Honeyman and Watmore playing further forward than Tom Bradshaw, who's supposed to be the striker. You got SA kind of playing further in midfield. So more like 4-3-3 basically, or 4-3, yeah, kind of. I don't. Maybe they were trying to overload the fullback, because you can, if you look at Hull, you can see their number 2 is a hell of a lot further forward. He's basically on the halfway line, touching up. Well, I guess the other fullback's quite further forward as well. Okay. But you see, maybe Duncan Watmore was trying to take advantage of that massive gap there between the 5 and the 2, and that's why he's positioned where he is. Interesting. Okay. Now, moving on to the other page of whoscored.com. So here are all the match events. Obviously no goals, so it's just the yellow cards and substitutions. They made the changes. The standard, it's the hour, it's an hour into the game, let's make some changes. They brought on 3 players, 57-58 minutes, and we brought on, and then they made another change in the 71st minute, and then we made a change 72nd minute, and we made a late change in the 88th minute to bring Macaulay Langstaff on from Bradshaw. which is far too late to do that. Far too late. It should have been done a lot earlier. So here we go. The average player rating, if you look at the club badges at the top left and top right, 6.73, 6.73. So quite even. So this, I think as we look through these stats, we're going to see that no team should have really won that game. It was the atypical draw. The drawest of draws, that this game, yeah, there should have been a draw. So here are the player ratings. The man of the match to McLaughlin in the whole defence. Mill's player ratings seem to be Brian number 1, and then we've got a tie between, then Jensen number 2, and then we've got Saville, Cooper, and Leonard all on 7.1, and of course we have Tom Bradshaw 6.1. Obviously, when he doesn't have a penalty to score, he can't get an inflated rating. 14 to 13 shots. Tom Bradshaw having 2 of those shots. SA having none. Obviously, we just saw in the previous slide that SA was tucked in further back as part of basically kind of like 3-man midfield. But again, seemingly everyone, obviously with all the set plays that we've got, set pieces, whatever you call them, set plays, that's an American thing, yeah? Set pieces, nearly everyone in the Mills team had a shot, except for SA, except for Leonard, and except for obviously the goalkeeper. Okay, possession-wise, obviously we don't need that possession. It's not what we do. 67% of the match possession was with Hull, 32.3% with Millwall. And of that, you can see 10% was to McLaughlin, 12% was for Jones, and 11% was for Coyle. So 30% of the ball's possession was with those 3 defenders. Tippy-tapping out the back. Okay, and you can see here 1% with Bradshaw. 1%. Pass success percentage, 88 to 69. Denor, 90. That's good. We'll see how... he must have had a few passes too, but that's good. Watmore with 80. That's good. And Brian, again, 81. Like I said in yesterday's video, I thought Brian was probably... he stood out more. It's more attacking. And that's what he's in the team to do, I think. To pass balls and attack going forward. Dribbles 10 to 4. Weird that we didn't get any dribbles out of SA. Aerials 1, 26 to 18. McLaughlin with 10. Jones with 5. Again, Bradshaw. We Bradshaw. And what do? We keep pumping balls up to him. Fantastic stuff. I'm sure that's going to work one day. Maybe if we get Bradshaw to stand to sit on the shoulders of Honeyman, maybe we can get that. That will be like a 9-foot player. Maybe that'll work. Maybe we could do that, a trick play every now and then. Although, be careful with that. Was it? Who did that? They fell off and broke their elbow. Was it Morrow? Steve Morrow fell off of Tony Adams when they were celebrating the League Cup, and then he ended up breaking his shoulder and missing like the FA Cup. Yeah, but I want to watch that. Tackles 10 to 11. Brian with 3 tackles today. Obviously, I think he made a bit disappointed in his performance in the last game, and he should put a shift in this game. Honeyman with 4 corners. So these are the players that won the corners. 5 to 7. Dispossessed 8 to 6. Okay. Now moving on to this from whoscored.com. So Hull had, 17? How many was it? 14 to 13, right? So they had 14 shots. 4 of those were on target. So that would suggest 4 saves were made. For Millwall, we had 13 shots. How many were on target? 2, 3, 4, 5. So there you go. We had one less shot than them, and more of them were on target. So let's have a look at this. So let's see the actual top 5 Mill players. According to the ratings, obviously a lot of people have been having a say based on what they saw, but according to the numbers, which we assume are consistent all throughout the season, we don't know how they pick certain things, but I think aerial duels do come into play in like passing and stuff. So I'm not sure it's that sophisticated. Joe Bryan 7.43, Lucas Jensen 7.16, Jake Cooper 7.12, quite close. Jules Saville 7.10, and then Leonard 7.08, and everyone else was below 7. And then we get down to Duncan Watmore 6.35, which is interesting. I guess that's why they took him off, because obviously they do track the players basically in live time. They have a system. You may have seen them looking at iPads on the side of the pitch in the dugout. That's what they're looking at. They're tracking the players. So I imagine that's why he was the first one to come off. But then you look at Tom Bradshaw below him, 6.14, another miserable performance, and we have to wait 87 minutes for him to come off. Wow. Okay. Wow. So that number 12 there that you can see, that's how many times he touched the ball. In 87 minutes of football, he touched the ball 12 times. Damn. And you can see Femi Aziz came on the 71st minute. So he's had, 20 minutes on the pitch? He's touched the ball 9 times. Nearly as many times as Bradshaw did in 87 minutes of football. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's have a look at the touches. 58 for Bryan. 56 for Jules Saville. It's interesting. Kind of matches up with the players that touched the ball most. Got the highest rating except for Jake Cooper. So let's move on. What are we moving on to? We move on to this. Offside. Jake Cooper was offside. Key passes. Quite a few of them. Defensive stuff. Who did what? George Honeyman 4 tackles. Joe Bryan with 3. Romain Esse with 2. Cooper, Denor. Interceptions. 3 for Denor. 2 for Leonard. 2 for Saville. Joe Bryan, Esse. So Esse doing a lot of defensive stuff yesterday, it looks like, because he's got 3 clearances as well here. This is a hell of a lot of clearances. So 9 for Tanganga, damn. 6 for Ryan Leonard, 5 for George Saville, 4 for Jake Cooper, 3 for Esse, 2 for Joe Bryan. Blocked shots, so 3 of the shots were blocked of the 14 that they had. 2 for Cooper, 1 for Tanganga. Passing wise, how many passes was the highest? 33. So let's go and compare that with Hull. Geezer's got like 100 passes now. So 3 times as many passes as our most passed player. George Saville, Joe Bryan, Lucas Jensen. Lucas Jensen had more passes than most of the outfield players. Oh, woo, woo, woo. Damn. Okay. So passing accuracy based off of that. So Casper Denor 90.5. It was only 21 passes, but still pretty better than Esse, was 66.7. What are we looking at then? Joe Bryan 80.7 off of 31. Is that better than that? Probably not. So you probably have to give it to Casper on that as the best passer of that game. And Duncan Watmore 10 passes, 80%. The numbers are not very high, is it? So Tom Bradshaw 8 passes in that situation. So we were kind of relying on set pieces in that game. We did have 7 set pieces, or 7 chances from set pieces. So our open play game was just kind of it kind of faded away as Romain Esse was kind of charged with sitting back further deep. Okay, that's something to keep an eye on. Crosses and accurate crosses. Joe Bryan 5-3, Honeyman 4-1, George Saville 3-1, Femi Aziz 2-0. Still a new lad. He's got a few things to come to terms with. Long balls and accurate long balls. Yes, Jensen's kicking was noted by some of the fans. He's got he had 26 passes. 21 of them were long, so 5 short balls. So you can imagine if you're a keeper and you do a short ball, that's a 100% pass. His long balls, 21. One of them found a Millwall player. 1. That gives him a passing accuracy of 23.1, which kind of, that doesn't help as well in terms of attacking play that isn't a set piece. Because if you come out from the back, if Millwall win the ball from the goal kick, or they win the seconds, then Watmore can get it. He can pass it to Honeyman. Honeyman can get it. He can pass it to Hesse. So it seems that kind of misfiring yesterday. Obviously, it was a bit windy. That, to be fair, was a bit windy, but we'll see about that. So there you go. That's from WhoScored.com. Now we're going to finish by looking at FBref.com, which stands for reference, not referee. And you can see the expected goals, 0.8, 0.8. Again, even Stevens. And this is a team, Hull City, as you can see there, they've now drawn all 3 of their games this season. So they are draw specialists. So was it Millwall, or did they make us draw? Obviously, we've seen how good their defence were, had the high ratings for their defenders, is while they defend first and then score second, and our defence was improved under Tanganga, so we stopped them from scoring. So that meant it, and we couldn't break them down because they defend first and defend well. And then it just ends up as a draw. So there you go. So possession wise, we've seen that. Passing accuracy, so 468 of 559 passes. We had 278 passes, 184 accurate. Shots on target, 4 of 14, 5 of 13. As you said, we had more shots on target, even though we had less shots. And the saves, so 5 saves for them, which is obviously and then 4 saves for us. Fouls 11 to 15, corners 5 to 7, crosses 23 to 15, touches of the ball 665 to 372, tackles 10 to 11, interceptions 4 to 9, aerials 125 to 18, clearances 30 to 33, offsides 1 each, goal kicks 7 to 12, throw-ins 20 to 20, and long balls. We're back to the long balls, ladies and gentlemen, 36 to 79. It's always a great idea when it's quite windy outside to undertake the long balls. So there you go. That's them. This is us. But to be honest here, this is all much of a muchness. If you want to come and look at this, you can look at this. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just scroll through these. If you wanted to have a look at them, you can pause it and have a look at them. Obviously, you won't get this situation where you go on the website and do that or do that, and it'll actually tell you what they are. But when we do that, so I just want to point out this. I've just seen this. So aerial duels from Tom Bradshaw, 13, won 3, lost 10, win percentage of 23.1. Again, what is the point? Lord of mercy, what is the point? And obviously, we have some actual kicking stats from the Lucas Jensen this week. I don't know why they didn't want to publish it before. So let's go through this. Obviously, shots on target against 4, saves 4. That's 100% save percentage. Post shot XG 1. So he saved basically all the chances added together. It was 1. He saved 1 goal. Again, we've already talked about this. 20 balls pumped long. Only 1 of them found a Millwall player. That's a complete pass percentage of 5%. Ouch. He did 17 passes, 3 throws. 47% of his passes were launched, but so an average length overall between short pass and long pass of 36.6. Goal kicks, all of his goal kicks were long. 12 goal kicks, they were all long, and the average length on those was 65.7 yards. Crosses. So, opponents attempted crosses into penalty area, 20. Number of crosses into penalty area, which was successfully stopped by the goalkeepers coming out for crosses. So there were 20 crosses into the box. He came out for 2 of them. Obviously, if you go through it and see should he come, should he no, that doesn't really matter. It's like the numbers. So he came out for 10% of the crosses. And here is a list of the shots and the XG per shot. And we can go through them. We can see. So XG and post-shot XG is expected goals based on how likely the goalkeeper is to save the shot. So expected goals is how likely it is to be a goal, and the PSXG is how likely is the goalkeeper to be a shot or the goalkeeper to save it. And what you see is that when you have one number and then it jumps up a lot, that is a really good chance. It looks like the really good chance that we had is this one here, Jake Cooper. That goes from 0.07 007 to 0.45. And that was from 9 yards out, and it was with his head. And on the other side here, SCA, if you don't know what that is, if we can go, that means shot creating action. So you have an assist, but that's only if a goal gets scored. But what if someone has a shot? You want to know who creates all of the shots? Who does that? Well, this is it. So shot creating action 1, shot creating action 2. 1 is the one that's most immediate. So you can see for the Saville chance, this one here, which for some reason wasn't mentioned in the Millwall match report yesterday. Romain Esse, he made that himself and he put it through for George Saville, so it was just him. If someone else had passed it to him, it would have been shot creating action 2. So for this first chance, Tom Bradshaw won. Romain Esse passes it to George Honeyman, to Tom Bradshaw, who shoots off target or heads it off target from 9 yards. There you go. So again, like Jake Cooper's our best chance. George Honeyman's goes from 0.02 to 0.24. That was saved. But if you look at, if we look at Hull's ones, because we have a lot of people saying, "Oh, fantastic! What Jensen's did quite well," and I'm saying, "Well, he flaps. He looked a bit flappy. He looked a bit nervous still." Which one? This one. So the Mason Burstow one on 21 minutes. 0.11 to 0.18. So it didn't go up by that much. So it was, I'm not saying it's an easy save, but it's a save that should have been made. If that would have went in, that would have been a problem. And then if we go to this one, you can see it actually goes down. So this is a whole, so you can see where it says saved. So that means it was saved. Regan Slater from 12 yards out with his head, it went from 0.03 before he headed it to 0.01 after, based on where all the other players are. And then we go down. Something else to point out here, on the 67th minute, Duncan Watman had a 0.03 XG chance with his right foot from 21 yards out. That was our last shot of the game, ladies and gentlemen. 67 minutes, 30 minutes from the end. And that may have been the catalyst for bringing Aziz on. But then why only bring Aziz on? Aziz, I keep saying Aziz. Our last shot was on 67 minutes. After that, we were just defending for our lives. And then you think, well, you wait until the 88th minute and you bring on Macaulay Langstaff. If we're defending so hard, bring on Adama Maku for Tom Bradshaw. So you've got 2 quick players up front. Maybe switch it to a back front 2 of Amaku and Aziz, and then just boom, over the top. Let's go. And that's why we had so many clearances, as we just seen in the stats. Because at the end, we were just booting it, get it out. This is like that backs to the wall stuff. Didn't have a shot in 30 minutes at the end of the game. What were we doing? We were looking at the saves that Jensen made. So here, the one there, that was the decent save. That was the one that was on the ground, I think. And then the one after that was the one that was I think that was the one that went under the bar. So Bedia, but you can see that it went from 0.22 to 0.66. So that goes up by a decent amount. What was that, times 3? So it goes from times 3, but it's still less than a goal. So it's not like, it's a decent save, but you know. And then the one after that, this goes up by a bit as well, but again, it's not ridiculous. 0.01 to 0.19, and that's in 26 yards out. So there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.